to make, and oh, there I am. And we'll start there. Mark has something for one of our members.
Well,
I thought it was for you. Yeah, thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. I've enjoyed it very much.
Well, thank you, Mark. Congratulations, Cindy, on your years of service. Thank you very much. All right, so the next item, or the first item really, is the approval of the minutes from the March 2015 meeting. As you'll recall, there was no April meeting. Is there any conversation about the March meeting minutes?
The only thing that we noticed was on the signage of the PPG paints of right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have it as Parkside Drive and the Kingston Pike. So which one is correct? It's the Kingston Pike, correct?
let me see here.
We have it on the agenda tonight. That's the same one, correct?
BPG, from the last from the March meeting.
That's the correct address.
Yeah, it is 11,000 Kingston Pike, I believe.
Pike. So this one now that we're getting ready to do today will be Kingston.
Oh, yeah, that's a little, yeah, that should be Kingston Pike, actually. I'll mark through that.
All right, any further discussion? Can we have a motion? Have a motion?
Motion to approve.
And a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. All right, so the next item is wall signs that have been approved since our last meeting up until now. Does anyone have any questions or comments other than the address change we made there on item E for PPG paints? Anything else, Mark, that you can think of we might need to know about those?
No, not that I can think of, other than that Duraline did get their wall sign put up. If you remember, that's on the 5-story office building.
Right.
Where they changed the ordinance.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so they finally got their wall sign up. I'm sure they're happy about that. So
Okay.
we're happy about it. So
2 years.
it's a good thing. Yeah.
All right, well, we'll move on to the ground-mounted sign applications. So we have a few members out here today. Would you all mind letting me know who you're representing tonight? We'll start over here.
Farragut Village, item C.
You're on item C.
Charlie Fromer, Faith Lutheran Church.
You're on Faith Lutheran, okay.
Yeah.
F.
Item E, Thornton Professional Center.
Okay. Well, then we'll start with item C, the Farragut Village then, and that's for a ground-mounted sign.
Yeah, the rendering on the PowerPoint was the original rendering, and the staff's comments on the sign. This is out at the Mellow Mushroom Center, just to remind you where that location is. Been referred to as Farragut Village, but I don't know that people really know that necessarily, so this will help, I think, with that. And they're just trying to give the
You have to turn it on? Yeah. Okay.
they're just trying to give the different tenants in the shopping center portion of the development some street recognition on Campbell Station Road in this case. The comments that the staff had were to make sure that the height doesn't exceed the maximum permitted. The original rendering shows 7 feet 4 inches, and of course, the maximum height is 6 feet, but it is measured from, either it would be measured from the grade elevation of the street, if the street is actually higher than where the sign is situated, and that's what the applicant has noted here, that the approximate street grade, the sign height actually would be 5 feet 10 inches in relation to that. And we did go out and look at that in the field. It looks flatter than that, but it could be, an optical illusion or misleading. But I would just, verify that you may need to have, up-to-date survey points of that area just to, verify that what the elevations are, just to make sure that before you build the sign that it will meet the height specifications in the sign ordinance. And then the other thing was to add the range of addresses in the building. I think the designer originally thought there probably was just one address for the building, and the rest of the individual spaces in there were suite numbers. If that were the case, then they could do what's proposed there on the screen, but the way the addresses are in that strip center, and they are assigned separate numbers, so we do require the range of addresses so that if somebody is looking for some entity, of a particular address, they know that if you provide the range, they know that there's somewhere in that complex. That can be particularly important if you have somebody has an emergency at one of the spaces, and emergency providers are trying to quickly provide, figure out where that space is. So the drawing before you that I placed before you is the revised one that does have the range of address numbers. I think I would ask and recommend that the address numbers be revisited somehow to where they're more, I'm not sure. I like the design of the sign personally. I like that asymmetrical look, but I don't know about that address range configuration there. I don't know how you all feel about it.
So there's no way that they can put it on the top? Like where most of them, let's see, give you an example.
We could. One of the things while Mark and I talked about this a little bit before the meeting and standing back and looking at the sign while you were discussing it, one thing that we could do, that brick portion, we could stretch a little bit if that would be permissible, so that when we put the range, the 603-635, I believe it is, then it makes more sense because it runs horizontal. Right now, when we got the call and said we need to put the range, when we dropped it underneath, it proportionally, it just doesn't feel exactly right. But I think if we made that brick element, maybe almost as wide as, or double the width, I don't think that counts in the square footage.
No, just have to verify that it wouldn't affect your setbacks.
Right, and then I think it would balance those addresses, and then also put a nice anchor on that back side.
Yeah, that might be.
We were thinking like that.
Yeah.
For example,
Well, yeah, that's another,
that's just.
yeah. Something like that, Barry, on the screen. That's
Yes, like on the top of that, so you wouldn't have to really add any of your brick or whatever. You could, I don't know if you can do that or not, but that's
Okay.
another, just on the top, so you wouldn't have to be adding.
I think we could, or, maybe we could put a little arch on that
Yes.
portion or
Yeah,
something like
And
that.
that would be cheaper for you, I would think, would it
Yeah.
not?
I think we could come up with something like that, yeah.
You would stand out better
Yeah, I think
too.
it would
I don't
too.
think I'd really notice
the beige against the brick stands out very
Right.
nicely.
Right.
And if you did the numbers in that same
Okay.
pattern, it would stand out much more.
Okay.
If the board is okay with it, I mean, you could email me or Ashley or both of us a couple of proposals, and we
Yeah.
could forward it to them on
Okay.
the address.
Okay.
You could go ahead and take action on the sign and
Sure.
just,
And then,
you know,
then
so you won't
let you
have
guys
to-
kind of do the final.
so you wouldn't have to come
Great.
back here
That'd be
or be
great.
held up.
We love or I do, I like all the rest of it.
Okay.
But the top, that would be, and
Right.
it sounds like you got a better idea than what we
Okay.
had
Sure.
planned.
I would just point out, when your tenants do come, put something on there where the shops are, they do have to come before the board before they do that, so just make sure.
Now, it is
everybody's-
intent to try to hold the background color the same, but each tenant would have
Right.
their own color on there.
It looks very nice.
Okay.
One more question. What is the size of the lettering for Farragut Village?
I don't remember. I apologize. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Like it'd be about 6
I
inches or so.
was thinking 6 or 8 inch tall letters. I
Yeah.
just
6 to 8?
I
Okay,
can't remember.
okay. Traffic doesn't move too fast through there,
No.
but it is congested, and I think 6 to 8
Right.
would be a good
Yeah.
height to be able to read it and see it.
Right.
You'd have 8 tenants in there?
I think there are 7 slots.
7.
Uh-huh.
In the elementary room might require larger, because they are taking the largest space.
Yeah, if you think that might be laid out a little bit different, if you could incorporate that into your, whatever you do with the address, because that, if you're anticipating that upper panel where you got two tenants, but it actually will be a continuous slot for mellow mushroom, then I'd probably show it that way. And
So the revised version only has 6 signs. So is it 8 or 8?
Well, it depends on the height. Our original, when we did the center originally, the grades show 3 feet between where the sign sits and the road. I think we've all looked out there, and maybe there's not 3 feet. So we're thinking it's 2 feet to 18 inches, and we went a hair under that to play it safe, thinking that once it's checked, we want to make sure that what we've drawn. If we did have to drop down to 6 feet, we lose. Yes. Yes. That's why the 7 works better for this particular sign.
You said that each tenant would have separate colors and backgrounds on.
Well, I'm sorry, the background would be the same color regardless
Okay.
of the tenant. But one might have red letters and one might have blue letters.
Okay.
More than likely, that's what's going to happen.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I didn't want to
Background.
mislead, wanted you to
Oh,
know
no,
what
we already-
we were proposing.
We've been through.
We've been through a lot of those, haven't we?
Yes.
so I guess if you could email me and Ashley, we could, forward to the board what you
Okay.
want to propose, and as far as that goes. So the staff's recommendation is to verify the height, because that would determine how some of the other things that you're doing with the sign. And then, of course, we always require the setback to be verified, from the property line. So you'll need to have a surveyor involved anyway, just to, make sure that you're placing the sign back far enough to meet setbacks and it's not within any utility easements, and that kind of thing. So I think with those subject twos, the staff would recommend approval.
Along with the numbers. I don't know if.
Yeah, with sending us a rendering that would deal with the numbers. And if you propose black numbers on the red brick, I would look at doing something different to give it better
Yes.
contrast.
Yeah, the arch, to do that at the top. That would be good.
Arches look nice.
But they do look, they do,
They're eye-catching too,
Yeah.
so that was a good suggestion.
Yeah, there's not that many numbers. That's okay, he said.
God was like, where did he go?
You can get creative if you want to. Well,
All right, is there any further discussion? Okay, do we have a motion?
Okay, I move that the sign be approved, subject to the conditions that Mark stated, and there be a revised drawing submitted.
Second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much.
It wasn't what you thought it was gonna be.
all right, thank you all.
All right, the next item on the agenda we'll go to is item E, Thornton Professional Center.
And I've got a rendering I'll pass around on that one. As you all probably know, that building is beige colored, so the actual sign will match the color scheme of the building, which is what's required. The rendering that's on the screen, and it was in the packet, just the way it was copied
color.
is more olive looking, but it's actually going to be beige like the building. This one, the staff recommends approval. We would, similar to the previous item, we would want to have the setback verified. So they'll probably have to identify where the right-of-way is to verify that setback prior to installation. And the height on this one should be fine. Yeah.
Are there only 2 businesses that will be in there? There's only 2 sections in there, right?
To my knowledge, well, there's 2 in there now. One of them doesn't have a sign, I don't believe, a wall sign. You'll need to speak over here if you don't mind.
Good evening. Good evening. The Low Center does have a wall sign. I
Yes,
didn't-
Low Center
Yeah,
does.
and we're in the process of building start care preliminary channel.
Oh,
letters.
for a wall sign,
Yeah.
okay. Mm. Yeah, that, like I say, currently there's just a Low T Center with the wall sign.
But those are the only 2 spaces for.
Right, there's
Right,
no
there's
room
no
for
room for
anything
units.
else.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I want to make sure that they're what.
Yeah, as it's configured right now, yeah.
What
They
is-
also would need to, provide landscaping around the base of the sign to comply with the town's regulations.
That was going to be one of my questions, and the other is, how is this one lit?
It's,
Internal,
Colonel?
I
Okay.
don't,
or is it?
I
Yeah,
don't think it is, to be honest. It's not lit.
External? Lighting?
Well, not even external,
No light?
no. Because those business, sorry,
Of the daytime?
yeah, they're just daytime by 5:30, they're out of there.
Okay. So you're going to, as far as the landscaping is concerned, will you be sending that to Mark?
Right, I will
Later on,
contact
so-
TJ Development, that they're gonna be responsible for that part, and let them submit what they're gonna put, and then I'll go forward that to Mark.
So you will send that to us again, like the landscaper, or do we need to approve that?
I can, yeah, I can send that to you.
Subject, everything approved is subject to the landscaping?
Yeah, the staff was recommending approval subject to the landscaping, meeting the town's requirements and the setbacks being verified. prior to installation.
I like your sign.
Thank you. I wish I could take credit for that, but it was my boss.
Yeah, it's a nice looking sign.
What is the stat care pulmonary? Is that going to involve physicians, or do you
No.
know what it is, or
I'm sorry, but no idea.
you don't know?
No, ma'am.
You should know these things.
As long as they sign the contract and give me a check. I mean, you know,
Okay,
I'm sorry, but
all right,
I
Develops
know
a
there's some
sign.
doctors involved, but to what extent,
okay.
I do not know.
It's Summit Medical, we know that.
There you go.
All right, is there any further discussion on Thornton Professional Center? Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll motion to approve, subject to the setbacks and the landscaping being verified.
Do we have a second?
A second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
Night, whatever you want to call it.
All right, so the next item that we'll move to is item F, Faith Lutheran Church.
You may remember back in 2013, there was a request that came before you all that involved the Farragut Presbyterian Church. And at the time, they actually showed Faith Lutheran, but they didn't really have any control over that being incorporated into the sign. So basically, Faith Lutheran didn't, I don't think they pursued it for a while, and now they're wanting to add a panel onto this existing off-premise church sign at the intersection of Campbell Station Road and Jamestown Boulevard. And it would be the same material, style, appearance as the Presbyterian Church panel. And basically the staff recommends approval of the request. I assume the Presbyterian Church is okay with that layout?
Yeah, their sign is on top right now. I don't know why it would be switched. I think that's just the artist rendition.
Oh, okay, so you all would actually be below Faith Lutheran, or Farragut Presbyterian?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, that's why I was asking that question. I didn't know if Farragut Presbyterian was okay switching the location, so.
Who owns that sign? Does the town of Farragut?
Well, the town is responsible for maintaining the posts. The tenants are responsible for maintaining the panels.
Okay.
And or getting permission to modify the panels, or add a panel, or remove a panel. So, yeah.
It seems to me that looks just very similar, not the same as what we approved before, or we're looking at before, so it looks pretty good to me. Is there any further discussion? Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
A second? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much. All right, well, let's move back to item A on our agenda, and we'll go from there. Sapphire Vapor.
Back to it here. There we go. This is a tenant panel on an existing ground-mounted sign on Parkside Drive. It's in the shopping center where Nukes is located. And the panel would look pretty much like what's on the screen there.
Are they taking the Scoops place is? You know,
I think they took part of that, yeah, I think that's right. They've been there for probably, I don't know, a year or so, year and a half. Yeah.
So the sign will be this color with a white background?
Yes, as far as,
Because this is a little, usually they show it on
yeah,
the sign itself. So,
yeah, it says it's black and white on the sign application.
So will there still be one spot left? Because see, Scoops took two, so they're just taking one of the two, correct?
That's my understanding, yeah, that they're,
So there still will be one left.
well, I mean, it's all capital block style letters. I think it's readable, legible. Don't know the letter height, but
And that little swirl in the, I assume
that's their logo, yeah, part of their.
black also. Everything will be.
Yeah,
black.
black and white's what it says on the, yeah, Yep.
okay, any further discussion? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to accept it
Second?
for, second.
All right, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Approve it. Approve.
All right, we'll move on to Orange Theory Fitness.
Theory. I didn't really know what that was when I first heard that.
Orange Theory.
Orange Theory, that's the panel. It's before you. Kind of a variety of colors and things on that ground mounted sign. So, that's what it looks like. I don't know if y'all have any comments or not.
Orange and a red. Is it a red? That's what I was trying to figure. Is it red or is it?
Looks like it's a, yeah, like a light red and orange.
Well, it draws your eye in, that's for
Definitely.
sure.
When you look at that, that's the one you.
Yeah, yeah, it's,
I kind of like it. I think it looks good.
yeah.
You know, if it had been a different color, it would not have, it would not pop because the lettering seems smaller than the others, of course, but because of the color, that's the first thing that draws your eye to it.
Yeah, the orange part's real legible.
All right. Any further discussion on it?
Oh, that's fine,
Have
yeah.
any problems with it, Mr. Mark?
No, I don't think so.
Do we hear a motion?
I think it's pretty cool.
We have a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, so the next item is D, Pinnacle at Best Buy.
This request is, of course, as you know, there's currently just a Best Buy on the ground-mounted sign out there in front of that portion of the Pinnacle. And they're wanting to provide an opportunity, the owner is, for other tenants to have representation on a ground-mounted sign. So that's what they're requesting as part of this.
So this is a complete rebuild of that sign then, is that right?
I haven't really been involved with that discussion. I don't think they will need to rebuild it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if it's a rebuild or not. I know the existing sign is set back far enough to meet the setbacks for a multiple tenant sign. So I'm not really sure why they would need to rebuild it. They obviously will have to remove the existing sign face and restructure it, but there's been several versions of this that's been submitted to the staff, and they've reduced the number of tenant panels to make whatever ends up on that more legible and to give them more space. So obviously, when some tenant wants to put information on the sign, they'll need to come in and apply for a permit through you all to do that. I guess this request is just setting it up to where that's a potential, that's an opportunity for an individual tenant in that center. There's only, just a few tenants in there. No, that's not
That's the
Gander
other
Mountain.
one up above it. It's.
No, that's like Dickies and Men's Warehouse. Yeah, that used to be over there. I don't know what else is in there. I think there's a nail place in there, Paris Nails or something like that.
Does Best Buy pay more to have that much of that sign, or how does that work, that they get?
I don't know, probably, but I don't really know. Yeah, currently they have the whole sign.
Okay, so they've given.
Yeah, so we don't get involved in that, so I don't know.
3 little small ones
Okay.
back there. Yeah. I don't know if you may mention this before, but there is a number missing on the street numbers.
Oh, yeah.
So that may have been unintentional, but they'll need to look at that.
Good.
It's supposed to be 11491.
Yep.
And the one's missing.
It is. It's good.
Good thing we didn't approve it.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
approved that.
We approve it subject to.
Well, my understanding, it's this same location. It's already landscaped, out there around it. So, but yeah, I think obviously the address number range needs to be corrected.
All right. Was there any further discussion? Okay, do we have a motion on Pinnacle at Best Buy?
Okay, I'll move that we approve the Best Buy sign.
Subject to.
Subject to the correct.
Yeah,
Correct
subject
numbering.
to the one.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, so next item is G, Briarstone subdivision.
This one's already installed.
I thought,
It used to be the villas at Anchor Park,
Right.
and that did come before you all. And that was replaced by what you see before you there. The staff recommends approval of the subdivision entrance signage for Briarstone.
But all they did was just change the anchor, the name, that portion in there.
Yeah,
So,
yes, yeah.
all right, it looks very legible, so any further discussion on Briarstone? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the next item on the agenda is landscape applications, which is also Briarstone subdivision Phase 2.
This is just for the tension basins that they'll be constructing in the Phase 2 portion of this subdivision. And the staff's comments were in the packet, providing some elevations for the contour lines on the plan. And then since tree fencing is shown in these areas on the tree preservation plan to reflect the tree fencing on this landscape plan. And with those two relatively minor subject twos, the staff recommends approval of the landscape plan.
So basically both or three. Is there 3 detention basins? There's 3. So they've just
Yeah.
surrounded each one with looks like quite a bit of cover. So.
Yeah, yeah, they do. Three's kind of relatively smallish kind of basins instead of one huge one, which is probably a better way to do it.
I have a question. Is that the ones like the little whirly bird things that get in the gutters and?
No, that's maples.
Oh.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
So this-
That's different types of maples. Pin oak's like with that tree right there.
Oh,
is a
okay.
pin oak. Yeah. I wouldn't have gone with the pin oak personally, but I don't know. There's a lot of oaks that are better than a pin oak in my opinion, but that's.
Well, it looks like when you add what they're planting to some of the existing trees that are there, they all provide pretty good cover for detention basins.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good
There's some
landscape.
evergreens in there that'll be there year round. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good mix, yeah. It sure is, yeah. For a 2-inch caliper? Yeah, could be. It depends. It just depends on, sometimes they prune them a little bit at the nursery. But yeah, normally a 2-inch caliper shade tree is 12 to 14. Yeah.
Gator bag, is it a gator bag? Water
That's a
system?
that's a bag that you fill with water, and you place it around the base of a tree, and it seeps water to the tree. It releases water slowly so that the tree can get moisture in real dry times of the year. Of course, I wouldn't plant any of this until the fall, probably November really, or December. It wouldn't make any sense to do it now. Even if you probably couldn't get a lot of the material right now. Yeah. So they probably won't be doing this until the fall anyway, because they've got a lot of grading to do as part of this phase. Put the roads in, utilities, and all that kind of stuff. So probably be early fall before they'd be ready for planting this anyway.
All right. Well, is there any further discussion on the landscaping plan? Do I have a motion?
I move to accept the landscaping plan.
Do we have a second?
All three of it.
I'll second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, well that's the last item on our agenda.
So you'll send us possibly two.
I will forward whatever is forwarded to us. Actually, one will get it to you. Yep.
Oh, we're not finished, I'm sorry.
Finished. Yes, that was the last item.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
so
like out of here.
she's ready to
See ya.
go.
I've been running
Until
all day
next time.
today.
Mark, thank you for our sandwiches, that was very.
You're welcome. Take some home, because we don't, really, serious.
Oh, can't you serve them tomorrow? Put them
Yeah,
in
we
the
could, but